We all know that exact moment of internal friction. You stare at a stack of documents or an empty gym bag, and a quiet voice in your head convinces you to do it later. When we see highly productive people push past that feeling, we tend to assume they won a genetic lottery. We treat discipline as a fixed personality trait, something you either have or you don't. But willpower is not a moral virtue or a personality trait. It is a physical mass of tissue inside the human head. If you consistently cave to the couch instead of finishing your work, you aren't inherently broken. Your brain is simply undertrained. Overcoming chronic procrastination is a biological challenge. It requires physiological conditioning, much like lifting weights, rather than a test of your character. The specific structure responsible for this drive sits deep in the frontal lobe. It's called the anterior cingulate cortex, or ACC. This region serves as your brain's command center for emotional regulation. It monitors conflicts, like the tension between wanting a snack and wanting to stay healthy, and keeps you calm when you want to react. Its most crucial function is cognitive control. This is the exact mechanism that overrides your short-term urges to keep your actions aligned with your long-term goals. Here is the counterintuitive part. The ACC does not grow from simply completing tasks you enjoy. It only undergoes neuroplasticity, actual physical growth, when you do something you are actively resisting. Think about skeletal muscle. To build your biceps, you have to fight against gravitational resistance. The ACC requires internal, emotional resistance. Every time you want to quit but choose the harder path anyway, you force the brain to adapt. You are literally adding physical mass to this region. Clinical data backs this up. Researchers have observed that obese individuals who struggle with food cravings often present with smaller ACC structures on average. But when those individuals begin resisting unhealthy urges and embrace the friction of exercise, their ACC physically increases in size. Every act of self-overcoming physically increases the volume of the brain's self-regulation center. We see the opposite effect in populations that habitually seek out high-friction environments. Brain scans reveal that monks who practice intense emotional regulation and daily cognitive discipline possess highly developed ACCs. The exact same growth appears in long-distance runners and endurance athletes who repeatedly force themselves past their physical quitting points. You don't have to be an elite athlete to trigger this. Everyday people who push through the psychological effort of therapy, maintaining sobriety, or building a business show similar neurological development. A high-performing mind is a biological consequence, a protective state earned by those who habitually lean into discomfort. Because the ACC responds to stress like a muscle, you can actively train it using a daily routine. Consider this your mental gym. Step 1 is the mental push-up. Pick a trivial task you hate, like organizing a junk drawer, and enforce a 2-minute timer to finish it. This builds your baseline tolerance for friction. Step 2 is the daily sprint. Carve out a 10 to 15-minute window to completely immerse yourself in a complex or frustrating task. The rule here is strict: zero multitasking. By removing all avenues for mental escape, you force your ACC to stay fully engaged. Step 3 is delaying gratification. Practicing micro-delays, like waiting 15 minutes before checking your phone, resensitizes your impulse circuits and asserts control over cravings. Discomfort is not a stop sign. That urge to quit is the physical sensation of your brain breaking its addiction to modern convenience. This chart plots how cognitive function scales over time. People with active ACCs stay mentally sharp and emotionally engaged far longer. This internal strength creates a buffer against decay, correlating with a longer lifespan and higher resilience. Choosing the difficult path helps you finish a to-do list today while building the brain capacity required to sustain those wins for a lifetime.